Hey guys, welcome back to Real Housewives Recaps. Today I am so excited to be covering Bridgerton Season 1, Episode 7, Oceans Apart. You guys, I am loving this series. It's so good. I enjoy every single episode. This one was tough to watch because I don't like the Duke and Daphne fighting. Lots of awkward moments, but I still love every single episode. I'm still taking this episode by episode, so I don't know the spoilers. I'm just going to make some guesses. I won't spoil anything for you because I don't know the spoilers yet, but I'll be talking about my thoughts, and I want to hear your thoughts, so leave me comments down below, and let's get into the episode. So we pick up with, things are still tough. Remember, things ended horribly between Daphne and Duke, and nothing's changed. She's playing piano, he's outside shooting. They're kind of trying to ignore each other and pissing each other off all at the same time. She opens the door to play loudly, he gets mad. There's loud music, there's shooting. It's just one awkward scene after another. Hello, Duke, still looking good. Okay, so then we switch over to dinner in silence. The Duchess asks for her things to be removed from the Duke's room, and he says he will not allow it. He says marital relations are the least of his concerns right now. She says it's customary for the bride to go to her own room after the honeymoon is over. He says he should be kept informed of her outcome from such conjugal matters, meaning he wants to know if and when her period arrives because of what went down in the last episode. She says, I would not dream of keeping such matters a secret. So again, lots of hostility. She's mad because he kept that he could have children a secret. And, he's mad about what went down in the last episode. If you don't know what I'm talking about, watch my last review, last recap. You'll see what I'm talking about. Okay. She says, okay, so then the housekeeper walks in with the newest Lady Whistledown paper. And she says she must pack straight away. He wants to know what it is, and she says her brother is involved in a scandal. So if you remember, Colin and Marina were headed out to get married when Lady Whistledown's paper came out, revealing that Marina was actually already with child, and Colin, it didn't work out. So now she wants to go home to be with Colin. He says he will not let her out of his sight until they know if she is with child. So horrible stuff going on. We see the townspeople reading the Lady Whistledown latest paper to come out. The Marina Thompson scandal is clearly going around. We see Eloise. She's at the dress shop. It's Mademoiselle Delacroix, and she says the scandal has tarnished her reputation, so maybe she should wait to come out for a few years. She's just not into it, looking for any excuse. Her mom won't hear of it. Lady Bridgerton says, absolutely not, you're coming out. And Eloise says if Whistledown can destroy a reputation, maybe she can build one up too. So then we see Lady Featherington. She's not lady, she's Baroness Featherington, trying to find a place for Marina and the forthcoming child. She's told she must make a sizable donation to make this work. Of course, remember her husband has gambled away all their money. We see a very awkward, silent Duke and Duchess ride in carriage. Can I just say I hate this so much? I hate when they're fighting. I love them together. I want them to work out. I love when they're all lovey-dovey romantic. I hate this. Daphne arrives. She's trying to keep the Duke out. So she said she wants to be there and she wants to help. She hopes that their arrival will give everybody else something else to talk about. Daphne goes to talk to Colin, saying, you don't know her, talking about Marina. And he says, my heart pays no heed to logic. I only want to be with her. And Daphne comes up with this plan and says, well, you can visit her and maybe she could be the chaperone. Meanwhile, Colin's asking if something's happened with Daphne and the Duke, and she's ignoring the question. So rough rough stuff going on. I feel so bad for Colin. It's not his fault. I've told you my thoughts on Marina. I know she's in a precarious situation, but I hated how she handled Penelope. I hate how she's trying to, pull one over on Colin. I just think she's made a series of bad decisions, but I also blame Baroness Portia Featherington as well. Okay, so Duke is boxing his friend Will, and Daphne's tossing and turning. The Duke comes home. She peeks at him. He sees her. She tells him they need to support her brother. She wants to know where he's been. He says, I didn't think you concerned about my whereabouts. So they're still fighting, and it's awful. She wants to know if he finds nothing left of their marriage. Is there any hope here? Is there anything left? Then all of a sudden, and completely out of the blue, they start kissing passionately. And so she says, she's trying to get him to talk. She says, Simon, I want you to, blah, blah, blah. And then it trails off. He silences her. So, let's see. Again, YouTube. I can't show what actually happens, but we'll just say he takes care of her. And when she tries to repay the favor, he gets real weird again. She says, should we go in the bedroom and finish what we started? And he says, no. And he walks away. So things are just not going well. She says, what's going to become of us? And he says, if you're with child, I will do my duty. And if you're not, we will remain married in name only. I shall not darken your doorstep. This will not happen. Do you understand me? Oh, heartbreaking stuff. Awful. I understand both sides as far as what she did was awful, and I don't even want to talk about that part. It's awful. But suspending that for a minute, he's being awful to her, and it breaks my heart, and I want them to work out so bad, even though, and yeah, I get it, they're both monsters. Okay. She may be more of a monster than he is even, but okay, so next day, let's see. Daphne, she's with Marina and Colin, and Daphne's there to chaperone. Colin says he hopes Lady Whistledown has been mistaken, and Marina says, no, it's true, talking about the baby. Well, Colin is shocked, as he would be, and he says she is cruel, and I agree with him. And she says, she just is so self-absorbed. She doesn't even understand why he would be upset. She says, I didn't come here to be shamed by you nor anybody else. That's not what's happening here. You tried to pull one over on him, and he's calling you out on that. He says, if you had simply come to me and told me your situation, I would have married you without a second thought. He said, that's how in love with you I am. It was shocking, and he is wonderful and such a sweet guy. He says now all he sees, all of that was a lie. Okay, so we see a beautiful garden lunch thrown by the Queen, who I absolutely love. I still am obsessed with the Queen. I want to see every scene with her in it. Everyone is saying how wonderful it is to be married. They are trying to pretend and smile through it. Obviously, things are not good between them. Her mom is seeing glimpses of the something's wrong, but she doesn't know what it is. The Queen comes to talk to them and asks Daphne if she is yet with child. The Duke says that they've been devoting their energies to that, and they should soon see their Queen satisfied. So, of course, he's lying. This is not what he wants. He's just saying what she wants to hear, trying to make the Queen happy, but also, I think, further driving the knife into the Duchess, and trying to hurt her a little bit more. So Duchess kind of whispers to him that his duplicity comes so naturally, and his response is he learns from the best. And I love this stuff. I do. I hate that they're fighting, but I love that they can spar with each other like this. So then we see Benedict. He's hanging out with his artist friend, remember, that he made, where he went to the guy's house and saw the guy making love to another man, who happens to be the man, I believe, here in the garden. What was his name? Oh my gosh, I can't remember it right now. But anyway, so I was curious where they're going with this with Benedict. I mean, it's awesome. Are they trying to show that he is interested? I mean, he's gay and he's not sure how to live this lifestyle, so he's palling around with this artist friend. I'm just not sure where they're going with this, and I'm very curious, and I actually hope he is. I hope they're showing that as part of his storyline, but I'm not real sure where they're going. Okay, Queen would like to see Eloise. She really wants to know who Lady Whistledown is. Eloise says she's working on it. Queen says her patience has limits, and to get her an answer, and she commands it. Whew, that's some pressure. Lady Danbury, she is happy that the Duke and Daphne have returned, and she's hosting a party, and it's just for ladies, so she's inviting Daphne. It's just for married ladies. So then the Featheringtons arrive, and everybody is talking about them. So this is coming right off the scandal of Marina and the baby and what they possibly were trying to do to Colin. We know what they were trying to do to Colin. People weren't sure if it was, on purpose, what was going on. So everybody's staring and ticked off at them. So the audacity of trying to trap Mr. Bridgerton is what everybody's saying. Penelope and Eloise sneak off to talk. Eloise says that when they uncover Whistledown's identity, they will get her to print a retraction and restore the Featherington family name. So then we go back over to going back real quick. So again, I don't know spoilers. I'm just wondering, I keep hoping Penelope is Lady Whistledown, but then I do think it wouldn't make sense because her family has such a bad name in the paper. If she was that, would she try to spin it? But maybe she's so pissed at her mom, she's okay with her being tarnished. I don't know. I go back to that dressmaker a lot. I wonder if it's her. I have a lot of theories. But then sometimes I think, wouldn't it be funny if it was the Queen? Like if she was duping everybody and she's afraid people were going to catch her, so she was trying to throw people off the scent, people like Eloise. So maybe it is the Queen. Okay. Let's see here. The Queen's assistant has asked the Featheringtons to leave, and that Lady Cowper and her mother are saying that should teach them. And Daphne says, teach them what? To judge, lest we be judged too. And her husband looks kind of impressed. So Daphne goes into the garden. This is her favorite spot to run off to. Mom walks to find her and says, something troubles you. And she's saying marriage has its joys and brings with it its special trials. Daphne says her marriage is far from perfect. Her mom is trying to get her to share her thoughts. And this is where we see Daphne saying what would have helped is if your motherly advice had prepared her to wed. Tells her mother that she sent her out to wed as a fool. Her mom is completely shocked. I actually felt bad for her mom. I think this is just a thing back then because the Bridgerton girls didn't know how sex worked either. So I don't think her mom was intentionally trying to send her out a fool. I think that's just kind of what was done back then is you don't talk about such matters. Then we're over at the Featherington household where things aren't much better. She tells her husband that it's all his fault, the scandal, and if it weren't for his habit, of course his gambling problem, then we would have been able to rid ourselves of Miss Thompson the minute we learned of her condition. And none of this would have happened. So, yeah, they don't seem like they're doing too well either. So the Duchess of Hastings arrive. Of course, that's Daphne. Baroness Featherington goes running, thinking that she's there to see her, and she's there to apologize for her mother. But nope, Daphne says I would require a word with Miss Thompson alone. So Marina shows up. She apologizes to Daphne. Daphne apologizes to Marina and says she understands, what all went down. So Marina says George was a soldier and also a gentleman. He was perfect, and I fancied myself in love. Then her courses stopped, and she found herself with child and alone. Daphne asked about his surname and his station and his location, and Daphne offers to help find him. She says, why should he be the one to choose your future? Perhaps I can make him come back and take responsibility for you and for your child. Okay, So then we see Baron Featherington taking a walk, okay? So this guy sees a sign for the fight coming up with Will, Duke's friend. And he's got an upcoming match. They have drinks, and Will's saying he's confident he will win. I've seen his boxing. I agree with him. Baron Featherington says that he has a lucrative arrangement idea for him. So he's basically trying to get him to rig the boxing match, take a fall, and it'll set up his family for life. Will is saying his honor's not for sale. Baron Featherington tells him there's a reason that his backers are dwindling. He can only do this for so long. And Will gets mad and doesn't like the idea, but Baron Featherington says, I'm only doing this for my family. One arrangement and both their problems will be solved. And he says, think on it. Okay. So then it's ladies' night at Lady Danbury's event. So remember, she wanted to have all the married ladies over. And honestly, I want to be there. It looked like so much fun. They're drinking, they're gambling, what's not to love? So, tons of women, lots of having fun. They're playing cards, drinking. Lucy Granville is at the table where Daphne is. And she's the one married to the artist, remember, that is part of Benedict's story. Okay. So the Duchess sits at the table. One of the wives happens to be married to the general. She is the one who Daphne needs to reach out to find out what's going on with Marina's man. So they teach her a new game where you predict the cards that's dealt. It looks like so much fun. Meanwhile, at the men's club, we see Anthony join the Duke for a drink. The Duke is brooding. Damn, is he hot when he broods. Anthony is looking for Sienna. He keeps thinking he's seeing her. He's obsessed. He really wants to find her. So this is where things get weird. Anthony says he can see the Duke has made a huge error with his sister. The Duke says he's trying to be a man of his word and trying to keep, and then he kind of trails off. He tells Anthony that you have a litany of broken promises everywhere you go. Well, this doesn't go well. Anthony says the Duke's father was so absent, he never gave him a proper lesson on running a household. To which I say, same to you, Anthony. Duke tells Anthony, you make it look hard, you can't manage it, and they end up fighting. So they get into a big fist fight, and they have to be pulled off of each other. This stinks. I hate seeing this. Duke doesn't need anything else on his plate right now. Okay, so Daphne comes home. So the one thing I didn't get pictures of, she does talk to Lady Kitty, that's the general's wife, who encourages Daphne to write him a letter. That's the easiest way to get a hold of him. So she writes him a letter, or she's going to write him a letter about Marina's man to see what he's doing. Daphne goes to find the Duke, and he's saying it was a rough training with Will. He doesn't say that he fought her brother. They stare at each other while she's taking care of him. They end up kissing. She says a child would be a blessing. That's like the wake-up call, and he stops immediately, and things get nasty again. She says, tell me why you're so adamant. He says he swore he would never sire a child. His father cared more about the continuation of the line than anything. So I made it a vow that his efforts would be in vain, and the line would die with him. So Daphne says, this is all because of a vow. You made a vow, and you made a vow to me too. And so her whole thing is, she said, you said to me you couldn't have children. I didn't know that you didn't want to have children. You didn't tell me it was a token of revenge. And his whole thing is, you betrayed me in our marriage bed. Whew. Okay, so she's saying, your father outweighs any affection you have toward me. My courses are due in the next few days. I'll let you know which vows are broken. They're miserable together or perfectly happy apart. Oh my gosh. Okay, so Lady Whistledown comes on. She's talking about exhilaration, about a gamble. The highest risk carries the highest rewards. Something's going on with Marina here. She's holding her belly. We see the Queen reading the paper. This is worse Then saying something odious, she wrote nothing. So Queen's pissed that no gossip's going on, which means it's probably not the Queen, that's Lady Whistledown. Let's see. So Whistledown is saying it's worthy of note that the Duke and Duchess have yet to entertain callers together. So they know something's going on. Daphne walks in the room. He walks out without even acknowledging her. So things are at an all-time bad. We see Daphne waking up and pulling back her sheets, and she has yet to get her period. It's just a series of awkward events. They're eating dinner in silence. Eloise is saying in the past the column has been from social events, but Marina's story is different. Penelope says every servant in the household knew. So they're kind of brainstorming on who Lady Whistledown could be. And Penelope thanks Eloise for helping restore her honor. I just love the scenes of these two together. I really like Eloise's personality, even though she can be a little bit over the top. I love Penelope. To me, she's the breakout star of this show. One of them. I still love Duke. But I did read, I try not to read spoilers or too much stuff, but I did read that these two are really good friends in real life. And the writers try to write these scenes for them together because they're so fun together. So I love seeing that. Okay. So Daphne goes to talk to Marina, and this is another reason why I can't with Marina. Daphne did this wonderful thing. She wrote the general. Marina is completely surprised, and she asked, did the Duke sign it as well? And Daphne has to say, well, no. Then Marina gets all huffy and says, he will pay no attention then, and half-heartedly thanks her for the... She makes Daphne feel like crap about this. Daphne is trying to help Marina out, and Marina just expects all these things for herself and just never... It bugs me. She takes no time to thank anybody. She's just in it for herself, to the point where she was willing to compromise Colin just to protect herself. It's just very selfish girl. So we see Anthony and Colin together. Anthony is apologizing to Colin, saying he's way too harsh about the Marina stuff, and he's really sorry. Anthony says, soon you'll forget all about Miss Thompson, and it'll be as if you never loved her at all. Then we see Lady Bridgerton trying to help Eloise get dressed for the evening. She says it should be an exciting time in a woman's life. Meanwhile, Eloise is not into this at all. And her mom finally says, if you're not ready, I shall not push you. We need not hasten your coming out if you're not ready. But Eloise is more interested in talking to the Queen, so she asks if the Queen will be attending tonight and seems excited when she finds out the Queen will be there. Meanwhile, we see Daphne holding her stomach and staring at the mirror. The Duke catches her. They go to the ball. They have to pretend like they're happy. And then we see Benedict looking at Willoughby. Willoughby, that's the guy's name that I couldn't remember earlier. Okay, Willoughby is the guy that hooked up with Benedict's artist friend. I'm not even joking, you guys. There's 27 characters. So many people remember. I apologize. I mess up the names sometimes. Okay, so basically, Benedict wants to understand from his artist friend, how does this work? And his artist friend explains that his marriage gives him protections, but that he is in love with Lord Willoughby. And the artist has to explain he risks his life every day for love, because then, of course, you couldn't be out and proud like you can today. So, again, I'm actually hoping this means Benedict is going to explore his sexuality if this is something he's into, but I'm not sure quite where they're going with the storyline for him, but interesting backstory. Okay, so Eloise goes to talk to the Queen and telling the Queen that she thinks Whistledown is a tradesperson. Queen says, is that all? I'm no longer in need of your service. So I love the Queen, but I didn't like how cold she was here. Eloise is young. She's excited. She's trying her best. This is important to her to find out who Lady Whistledown is. Queen says she's hired somebody and she'll figure it out, and child, go. So Eloise is pretty heartbroken over that. Then I go back to thinking, well, is the Queen Lady Whistledown? Because she's now discouraging Eloise from looking into Lady Whistledown. I don't know. I'm not real sure. Okay. So Eloise is upset. She goes to Benedict and basically they leave. She says, "You're my favorite brother." They leave. We see Marina looking around the kitchen. It happens a couple of times. It's weird. I wasn't sure where they were going with this. In the carriage, Benedict and Eloise are riding along, and he says he'd like to stop to pick up a friend. Please do not tell Mother. He ends up picking up the dressmaker, Genevieve Delacroix. So, remember, they hooked up at the other artist's house, so maybe they are a thing. I don't know. So, Eloise is shocked when the dressmaker gets in the carriage, right? And Genevieve asks Eloise about her night, and she says it was boring and horrible. The entire town was there, but I didn't have a worthwhile exchange. And Delacroix says everyone except for the Featheringtons. Eloise says yes, everyone except them. And she starts breathing weird. And I think she's thinking that Genevieve Delacroix is Lady Whistledown. So, still trying to figure out who that is. Musical performance is happening. Anthony gets to see Sienna, who he clearly loves. And she's holding hands with another man. Ooh, shock. So, he's not happy about that. Okay, then we see the Duke and the Daphne are looking miserable with each other while her mom looks on. It's just so depressing to see. I hate this. Marina is being weird still in the kitchen. She's grabbing random herbs. She's crushing them in hot water. She makes herself a drink. So then we go back to see the Duke all of a sudden holds Daphne's hand and she smiles a little bit. So finally a little bit of progress. But then all of a sudden she looks panicked and she runs off. Ugh. So then Penelope goes to talk to Marina and knocks on her door. She finds her on the floor completely unresponsive, and she calls for her mother, who comes in and just kind of looks on and does nothing. So then, the moment we've all been waiting for, Daphne gets her period. So she gets her period, she's bleeding, she's crying. Her mom goes in to comfort her, and they do flash to the Duke, and he's crying, he's upset, he's sad. So, yeah, so I guess she is not expecting. And so her mother's comforting her, and that's how the episode ends. So, can't wait to see what happens. There's one episode left, guys. I really don't know what's going to happen. I don't know where they go from here. I just hope that Duke and Daphne end up okay. I do. I want them to be okay. I want this to work out. I want them to be okay and have a happy marriage, and whatever they decide together on kids is what I hope for them. So that's it for the episode, you guys. I hope we get to find out who Lady Whistledown is. I'm not sure. Part of me wonders if they'll just not show us the last episode. I don't know where that's going to go, but we'll see. And thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Leave me comments below. Let me know your thoughts on the show. And yeah, everybody stay healthy and safe. And I will talk to you guys again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.